Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Ladder Legends replay analysis. Today we have Mr. Flep versus Ilua Kraber. And let's see what he said. I need some help with this one. I think my early game was decent. Maybe I overdroned a bit. I'm not sure. But then the problem started. Terran's in my face with the first push, so I tried to clean it up. Was I too impatient? He follow-up pushes keep coming. I feel like I go broke trying to hold the middle position. I wasn't counterattacking or even spreading creep on the sides, as the middle kept all my attention away from the sides. I eventually give up the middle once I do... excuse me, sorry, I misread that entire question. I eventually give up the middle, and for once I do well because I get ultras out and clean him up. And now his bank is too big and I lost. So, sounds like we lost in inefficiency, and because we were allowing, like, you were talking about keeping all of your attention on the middle, right? But that also means you're allowing him to keep all of his attention on the middle. So, well, what are we going to be looking for? We're going to be looking for, did we overdrone in the beginning? That was the first question. Were we too impatient to clean up the push? And how could we have diverted the Terran's attention away to allow ourselves some breathing room? Okay, those three things are going to be key to what's going on here. Oh yeah, let me fix one setting real quick. All right. So he gets the first tumor. He's going for a third CC, so he's going for a very fast economic option. Remember, one thing we should really do after we deflect the Reaper the first time, right? So let's see. Queen's already out. So the moment the Reaper... So you deflect him right here, right? And he goes down this ramp. Ling should go across. Because if we are able... You'll get there right as the first two Hellions are about to pop. But usually, Terrans will mistakenly drop their mules down here thinking they're safe. If you can get the first two mules, that's huge. That's like 500 minerals that you're denying from the Terran in the early game. That also makes this 3cc opening a little worse because the affordability of the Hellions goes down because they just spent a ton of minerals on a third CC. They now have no mules, and they're still having to produce 2 excess CV at a time, right? So just something to think about. We do, however, kill the Reaper, and we're making 12 more Lings. So what are the Lings for? Are we about to be aggressive? So, we only have 40 drones. So only 2 Hellions are out so far on the map, right? 4 Hellions, excuse me. I didn't see these 2 over here. So you made these Lings in response. How many Lings did we make? We made 16 to start. I don't think you need to make that many to start. I think you can just start with 10. You have the 10 on patrol over here, right? And then you have your queens pulled to the front. So 3 excuse me. 3 queens to the front, 10 Lings on patrol in the natural. And if you see more than 4 Hellions come across the map, which we have Overlord vision of both paths, so 6 to 8, then you make 4 to 6 more Lings as needed, right? So we could be 3 to 5 drones ahead of where we are now. Probably even more if it comes to like absolute optimal efficiency. But I know that we've been focusing on creep spread recently, and that's also going to cut into your inject times and stuff like that. So remember, we really want to stay up with that 10 drones per minute the game has gone on. And if we were going by that rule, you should be at 44 at least already. And also, it's massively important when we're doing this against 3cc because we want to keep up with the Terran economy. Alright, so now we go for triple Spore, which is okay. I mean, I know we saw a Banshee, but it does also cut into the worker count. We're going back to droning, which is nice. So we're having a little bit of inoptimal mining over here. We're having 14 out of 16 on the main and 15 out of 16 on the natural, and all these drones are running to the farthest away base they can, the third base, right? So if you remember, this is one of the things that it just kills your mid-game transitions, just small little things like this that are inefficiencies in mining. We're also massively supply blocked at 74. We do a good job replacing the creep. And it was more than 6 Hellions, so it is looking like it's going to be a bio follow-up. We're taking a 4th and a 5th. I like this. Banshees. Wow. He should have really gone for this Baneling Nest. He probably could have gotten it, and that would have been a huge pick-off for him. We're not keeping tabs on the Terran's rate of expansion, though. We have no idea he's taking his third base. So we don't have our spotterlings out. We only have vision on one area of the map. Now, our creep spread's looking good, right? But we're not even past our furthest base. So just something to consider. We're up to 74 drones, which is nice. Like, nothing bad with that. And we should be looking towards our next set of tech already. So we're up to 3 gases. What are we doing? Are we adding in a hydrogen? Are we adding in infestation pit? Where are we going, right? Because if you think about all the top guys right now, right, at this point they're already starting their hive, and that's because they go for infestation pit tech choice, or they're going for a hydrolink bane max out and the hydrogen's already done. Either way, though, they're not completely reliant on only Ling Bane, and part of that reason is because it's so larva heavy, right? Now you're doing a great job with the extra macro hatches. I like that because we're recognizing that we're not able to spend all of our money, that we are going for just extra production. Okay, so we're going for an infestation pit. This is one of those things you were left basically effectively untouched for a long time, right? So instead of 7:30 we go for the infestation pit. Let's shoot for 6:30. That way we can already, like, hive would already be almost done, and we'd be moving towards things like adrenal glands and ultras with +2 carapace, right? And that's how you really shut down these mid-game Terran pushes. If you ever actually, like, I say actually, that sounds bad. If you ever watch the way a lot of the pro guys navigate it, they are just biding their time for hive, right? Now, I'm not necessarily saying that's the way that we have to play, but if we are going to go for a more lair tech based army, we want the lair tech based upgrades to be done before the Terran's mid game is at its strongest point, which is going to be a 2/2 max out, by the way. So we've been untouched for 8.5 minutes. We should be really, really near in a max out, if possible. We're at 79 drones. Not bad. Start an extra hatchery down here. There's no reason why this hatchery shouldn't have been retaken down here or taken over here. Just because if you're going to make a macro hatch, I'd prefer even another one to be in the main base. Like, it's just exposed. It also chokes you up for no real reason, right? So just something to think about for the future. Now, how important is this base? This base is not mining that much. Like, it's a decent amount, but it doesn't have its gases. This base is uncontested. Do we need to fight in the middle where all these tanks are sieged up, right? They're not in range of anything important. So the answer is no. And also, whenever you have this much freedom, we should have like 50 or 60 lings waiting on the side to try to go in. So it's just like the moment you see, let's see, when do we know that this Terran army is moving out? We know it right now, actually. You have a changeling in the army and you see it moving out. So it's like 60 lings should be over here and be ready to try to run into the natural and run into the third and potentially to the new fourth. Because what you want to do is right when he gets to about here, you want to be counterattacking. And you want to try to do that as often as possible. And normally, you're under actually way more pressure than this, right? So it's harder for these kinds of things to be executed. But this guy has given you 8.5 minutes of complete freedom, right? Like, the only thing he was a little annoying with the Banshees, but... And his Hellions came in every now and again, but it wasn't anything like insane or special or anything like that, right? It was just some standard TVZ pressure. So now he's getting set up. You're also getting set up? All right. So how do we engage this? We have no idea what the positional setup is looking like. We walk into this while there are a bunch of tanks sieged up with mines, so there's no pre-setup happening right now. Where are we looking? We're still looking at our queens. So how many units do we lose before we pull back? So we're at 74 lings and 8 banes only right now. 22 more on the way. Boom. Okay, so we decide to trade. Or you decide to keep going and trade, but we effectively just lost all of our links for very little, right? That was a 2-to-1 trade ratio, which is not starting the fight very well. So we came in from a single angle into Widowmine tank with only Ling Bane, right? Like honestly, I would have preferred we just completely give up the base and we're just counterattacking with the vast majority of the army. Like 75 lings, get in here, kill these guys, work on the wall, split some off to the third. And then you can just have all your banelings waiting at the top of the ramp. Like, we don't need this base. This base is not necessary to our survival. As long as he doesn't kill this one as well. So We have our 2/2 on the way as well. It's more than halfway done. So one could argue that it's even better if we would try our best to wait to fight this as long as we can. We also need these tanks to dislodge from this position if possible. What do I mean by that? We need them to move. If they move forward, then they are more vulnerable, right? But if they're not dislodged and we're attacking through this choke point, it's almost never going to go well, right? At the very least, it's going to be inefficient every time. So we're not setting up counterattacks, and we're trying to fight all this. I mean, we did dislodge the tanks. As painful as it was, like, it actually wasn't that bad for you in terms of a dislodging, but there we go. Now we're starting to add in hydros and the ultra cavern. Okay, but our eco is not that good anymore, right? So we had, and what do I mean by that? 79 drones is good for the 7.5, 8-minute mark, but when we're playing Lingbane Ultra, you really want to be at like 85 to 90 spread across these bases effectively. Like and for example, what I mean, like, we went from mining 3,700 minerals to now we're only mining 3K, and we're gonna be spending a ton of cash every minute that this goes on. One thing we need to start doing as well is move commanding past the army when we're chasing, right? Like, whenever the Terran army is running away, they're doing no damage, so you might as well do what you can to grab as much surface area as possible. He scans, he sees your armies right here, so now he gets to set up here. Oh, and we're just keep engaging into the same choke. Okay, so I know there's a lot more game to go on, but I can already tell which route this is going down because you said it in your post that he is focused way too much on the middle. So in the future, we just need to don't play into his game. He set up a sensor tower here with a bunch of tanks, and he's just waiting for you to push to the middle. At the very least, we need to start coming in from this side and the back side over here, going for a double angle engage if we are going to try to break the middle. And if what we should be doing is going from side to side, figuring out the places with no defenses. Sensor tower here, 0 defenses. Sensor tower here, 0 defenses. Wall open this entire game. Potential for a Nidus, massive. Potential for a Nidus, massive. Like, there are so many routes in which we could take that doesn't involve fighting his army down the middle of the map, and I think that those are the options we should focus on when it comes to takeaways from this game. But yeah, thank you for submitting this game, Flip. If you have any other questions, we're about to have a session in like 2 hours. So I'll see you then, my man. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.